Chalk and cherry blossoms. Life inside a Japanese school. Close your eyes. Imagine a morning in April. Cherry blossoms are still falling. Pink petals drifting down onto a schoolyard, swept clean before the sun fully rose. The school gate opens. Children arrive in waves, backpacks almost as large as they are, yellow hats bright against the pale morning sky. They bow to the teacher at the gate. The teacher bows back. The day begins. Tonight, let me take you inside one of the most quietly remarkable institutions in Japanese life, the school. Not just a place of learning, a place of belonging, of responsibility, of becoming. Japan's schools are unlike almost anywhere else in the world, and the values they teach, quietly, daily, without fanfare, shape everything about who the Japanese people are. A system built for everyone. Japan has one of the highest literacy rates in the world, nearly 100%, and one of the highest scores in international education rankings, consistently placing among the top nations in mathematics, science, and reading. There are over 30,000 elementary schools in Japan, nearly 10,000 junior high schools, and the compulsory education system covers 9 years, 6 years of elementary school, 3 years of junior high. Almost all students continue on to high school, even though it is not compulsory. The high school attendance rate is over 98%. Education in Japan is not treated as a privilege. It is treated as a given, a foundation laid beneath every child's feet before they are old enough to ask for it.
The school day. Structure as a form of care. The Japanese school day begins early. Students arrive before 8 in the morning. They change their shoes at the entrance. Outdoor shoes go into a locker. Indoor slippers go on. This act alone says something. The outside world stays outside. What happens within these walls is separate, intentional, safe. Morning homeroom. The class representative calls the room to attention. Everyone stands. They bow to the teacher. The teacher bows back. Then lessons begin. Japanese, mathematics, science, social studies, English, music, art, physical education, home economics. Home economics, cooking, sewing, household management, is taught to every student, boys and girls alike. The idea being simple: everyone needs to know how to take care of themselves and the people around them. Between lessons, students do not leave their classroom. The teachers rotate, the students stay. Their classroom is their home base, their anchor point in the school day. Soji, the children who clean their own school. Every day, at the same time, a bell rings through the school, and every student stops what they are doing and picks up a broom, or a mop, or a dust cloth, or a bucket. This is soji, cleaning time, 20 minutes every single day, in which the students clean the school themselves. Every classroom, every corridor, every toilet, every stairwell, even the schoolyard. There are no professional janitors in Japanese schools. The children do it. This is one of the facts about Japanese education that stops people from other countries completely. Students cleaning their own toilets? Yes. And not reluctantly, not as punishment, as a matter of course. The philosophy behind Soji runs deep. If you clean the space, you respect the space. If you respect the people in it, you respect the people in it. And if you clean alongside your classmates, no one exempt, no one above it, you learn something about equality that no textbook can teach. Students who clean their school do not litter in it. They cannot. They know what it took to make it clean.
Kyushoku, the lunch that teaches. In most Japanese elementary and junior high schools, lunch is not something you bring from home. It arrives. Kyushoku, school lunch, is prepared in the school kitchen by a dedicated team of cooks who treat the meal as a serious responsibility. The menu is planned by a nutritionist. It changes every day. Rice or bread, soup, a protein, vegetables, milk. Balanced, warm, made with care. And here is what makes it remarkable. The students serve it themselves. Each day, a rotating group of students puts on white aprons and masks. They collect the food from the kitchen. They ladle the soup. They portion the rice. They carry the trays to their classmates. Then everyone sits together in their classroom with their teacher. They say itadakimasu, a word of gratitude before eating. Not just thank you for the food, but thank you to the farmers, the cooks, the animals, the earth. A recognition that this meal came from somewhere, from someone, and deserves to be received with awareness. The meal lasts about 20 minutes. Then the students clean up, wash the dishes, and return the trays to the kitchen. From the age of 6, Japanese children learn that eating is not passive, that nourishment is a communal act, that gratitude belongs at the table. Bukatsu, the world after the bell. When the last class ends, most Japanese students do not go home. They go to club. Bukatsu, club activities, are a cornerstone of Japanese school life. Sports clubs, cultural clubs, music clubs, baseball, soccer, kendo, swimming, brass band, tea ceremony, calligraphy, robotics. Almost every student belongs to at least one, and membership is taken seriously. Practice runs from after school until early evening, sometimes 6 days a week, through summer, through winter, rain or shine. The upperclassmen lead, the first-year students follow. They learn discipline, dedication, and the particular satisfaction of getting better at something through sheer repetition. The brass band that wakes before dawn to practice, the baseball team that runs drills until their legs give out, the calligraphy club that fills notebook after notebook trying to make one perfect brushstroke. These are not extracurriculars in the Western sense. They are a second education, one that teaches what the classroom cannot, how to push past the point where you want to stop, how to belong to something larger than yourself, how to fail and try again, and try again, and try again.
Shugaku Ryoko, the journey that becomes a memory. Once in their school years, sometimes twice, Japanese students go on a Shugaku Ryoko, a school trip, but not a trip to a local museum. Elementary students might travel to the mountains or the sea. Junior high students often go to Kyoto and Nara to walk through temples and deer parks and feel the weight of their country's history. High school students sometimes travel to Tokyo, Okinawa, or even abroad, to Singapore, Australia, the United States. They travel as a class, together, staying in traditional ryokan, wearing matching school uniforms, navigating unfamiliar streets with their friends. Adults who grew up in Japan will tell you that their Shugaku Ryoko is among their most vivid memories, not because of the destinations, but because of the feeling. The feeling of being young and free and together, of being far from home for the first time and discovering that you are more capable than you thought, of lying awake in a tatami room with your closest friends, talking quietly long after lights out about everything and nothing while the rest of the world slept. Undokai and Bunkasai, the days the school comes alive. Twice a year, the rhythm of the Japanese school year shifts. The first time is Undokai, Sports Day. The schoolyard is transformed. Colored flags line the field. Parents arrive with bento boxes and cameras. Students are divided into teams, often red and white, and compete in relay races, tug of war, and the extraordinary spectacle of the human pyramid. Months of practice go into a single afternoon. The whole school watches, the whole school cheers, and when it ends, something has shifted. The students know each other differently now. They have sweat together. They have won and lost together. The second shift is Bunkasai, the cultural festival. For days in advance, classrooms transform. One class turns their room into a haunted house. Another runs a cafe, serving handmade food to visitors. The drama club rehearses until midnight. The art students hang their work in the hallways. On the day of the festival, the school opens its doors. Parents come, neighbors come, former students come back just to feel it again. The hallways fill with music and laughter and the smell of cooking. Every student has a role. Every student has a purpose. No one is left out.
What school really teaches. If you ask a Japanese adult what they learned in school, they might tell you about mathematics, about history, about literature. But spend more time with the question, and something deeper surfaces. They learned how to be part of something, how to show up every day, even when you do not feel like it, how to clean up after yourself and after others, how to serve before you eat, how to bow and mean it. They learned a concept called Shudan Seikatsu, group living, the understanding that you are not just an individual. You are part of a class, a club, a school, a community. And the community works only when everyone plays their part. This is not about erasing individuality. It is about something more subtle, the knowledge that your actions have weight, that the way you treat a shared space is a statement about who you are, that showing care for others is not weakness, it is the most important skill you will ever learn. Japan's trains run on time. Japan's streets are clean. Japan's public spaces feel, somehow, looked after. And it begins here, in a classroom, with a broom, with a bowl of warm soup served by a 10-year-old who has learned that caring for others is simply what you do. Somewhere in Japan right now, a school is quiet. The classrooms are dark. The corridors are empty. The desks are clean. But if you listen closely, you might still hear it. The echo of 1,000 small moments. A child learning to tie an apron. A student staying late to perfect one brushstroke. A group of friends lying in the dark on a tatami floor, whispering to each other on the last night of a trip they will never forget. These moments do not make the news. They don't go viral, but they are the architecture of a culture, quietly built, child by child, morning by morning, one bowed greeting at a time. Now let the music carry you the rest of the way. Let your mind soften. Let your breath slow. You have shown up today. You have done your part. That is enough. Rest now. Thank you for listening all the way to the end. May tomorrow be the greatest day of your life. Oyasumi nasai.